Just chirping away. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, man. Thank you guys for joining us live. I have a heavy sigh because it's funny. Teresa and I just hopped on really quick and, we're like, hi, how are you? And then we're like, okay, but I don't believe you. Like, what's going on? And obviously
A
we're going to,
hummingbird.
yeah.
We'll just say that. A hummingbird.
Awesome.
That's a sign we're still in a good vibration. Okay?
Yes,
No matter
of
what's
course.
happening.
We were just going to say, like, you have to be grateful for all of the things, right? And so something that we were just kind of quickly discussing and noticing among, people around us too, is that there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a lot of things to process. There's a lot of, like just Teresa and I specifically are coming up against things we need to, consider and think through and decide on and process. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, okay, hang on a second. Like, we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde. Like, don't make any drastic decisions right now. Continue to consider what's going on and what's coming up, because that's all serving me and us and whatever's going on. But at the same time, it's worth kind of making note of it and then revisiting it in a few weeks when not so much stuff is going on, and you can make a more level, a more centered, a more level decision. But this is where gratitude really is important, because like Teresa was just saying off air, do you want to stay here wallowing in your own shit, or do you want to be grateful for the lessons and be grateful? Because no matter what's going on celestially, solarly, is that a word? It's all being shown to us for a reason, right? These things, the timing is maybe not great and you don't want to make drastic decisions right now based on how you feel right this second, because maybe that's, you're not as in as an aligned place as you could be. But at the same time, like, I choose to be grateful. And I also choose to take note of, okay, well, where am I not being as grateful as I could for these things? Like, it's possible that some of the things that I'm dealing with personally, which we're not going to get into like details today because I want to work all the way through it before we discuss it. But, where am I not being as grateful as I could? And where is this being shown to me? And what are the lessons? What are the reasons? Right? So, like, man, Teresa, you said that you're experiencing a bunch of people in your life too, kind of the same thing going on.
Yeah. And it's crazy because what today's practice is talking about mistakes, right? Now we'll continue to go over the same lesson over and over and over and over and over until we get what we need from that. Right. And let me read this. This is part of today's thing. It says, we will make the same mistake over and over again until the consequences hurt us so much that we finally learn from it. It's the very reason why mistakes hurt, so that we do learn from them and don't make them repeatedly. So I think that's so important right now. It's crazy how it aligns so much.
I love it.
Because this is what's happening right now. It's like all the old story is being regurgitated right now. It's like everything that you didn't like about yourself or about your reality is being brought up right now. And it's literally right in your face. And so it's like you're in that fork in the road yet again. What are you going to choose? Are you going to sit here, regurgitate all this stuff again, allow your emotions, pay it your attention, which is as expensive as gold. Right. If we pay it attention and we do what we've always done, then we cannot move forward. Right. So this is the opportunity to be like, okay, it's coming up, not because you're a bad person, not because you're failing, not because all of these things are fucking true. And that's what a conversation I had with somebody yesterday. Everything that was coming up for her put her back into a state where her self-worth is questioned. And she's fucking amazing, brilliant in every way you can fathom, and so for her to be feeling this way, like unworthiness, I'm like, hold on, dude, it's a fucking lie. It's a lie. It's just the old reality being reflected again. Maybe there was one piece in there that you didn't learn from. What's that lesson? Don't fucking spiral out of control, which is what she did. And I feel like a lot of people right now are doing that. You're losing control of everything. You're not realizing that you're actually moving forward, right? Because when I spoke with her last night, I said, the same things are happening to me. I said, but this is the difference, that the state that I'm in right now, I was able to look at it and be like, this is a fucking lie. None of this is true. How do you feel right now, Teresa? I feel amazing, because our emotional state is what's gauging it. So Catch your emotional state in that moment when the things come up, because if you're in a good emotional state, then what's coming up is a fucking lie. It's for us to be in this timeline that we're at right now. We have to shift. We're supposed to be shifting into the observer. And then that also is the mark of change. That also is letting you know that you are moving forward and your desires are starting to come to fruition and manifest. When you know that the outside circumstances can no longer get an emotional reaction out of you. That's your indicator right there. So you got to feel into all of these things when they start coming up. Okay, observer. X, Y, and Z. Nope, that's not the fucking truth. Yes, that once was me. Yes, that once did describe who I was and the things that I did, but I no longer identify with that identity. You have to be conscious. You have to take control over it. If not, it's like we're getting ready to quantum leap, right? That, what do they call it? Is it the molecule in the atom that starts vibrating and accelerating and it's about to burst and take us to this new timeline? And then we get double-minded. We allow the old reality and all that bullshit to get into our head. We start focusing on it and you keep shifting. This is why it's a continuous cycle of shit that we don't want. You know, how many of us have done this work for years and nothing has ever changed? Because of this very thing. Every time, and it's not just the little things that we're dealing with in front of us. This is on a universe level, right? The Mercury retrograde and other things that happen that are shifting the energy that we have to be so aware of to know what's happening, that we're not really going backwards. And you don't want to jump back into that old reality and never move forward. This is what's been happening to so many of us over and over and over and over and over. We must become the observer. This is where we start using our tools, right? That level of consciousness, that gauge. How are you feeling? What are you doing? Are you actively participating in your growth and expansion? If our emotional state is controlling everything that we're experiencing, it's deciding whether we're quantum leaping into this new desired reality or not. What are you doing to hold this elevated state? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what makes you happy, you got to figure it out. Put on a song that you like to dance to. You know, focus on one of the most grateful memories of your life, or do the fucking magic.
Get your gratitude list out. Start the magic.
Do the magic. It's that simple. As soon as you start feeling out of control emotionally, boom, go to the state of gratitude. It shifts you completely.
Now, somebody just commented, sometimes it's hard to ignore the old reality. And I think that's important to touch on, because it can be. Gotta love traffic.
It's nice to be outside, but I can't hear shit right now.
Gotta love traffic. I was saying, somebody just commented, sometimes it's hard to ignore the old reality. And it is. And that's why it's so important that you work as hard as you can to ignore the old reality.
And this is the thing. And I struggled with that forever. And I reacted to the old reality. And what would happen? Everything that I was building, all the momentum, came crashing down. So yes, it can be hard to not react. But how hard is it to be in the same fucking place 6 months from now, a year from now, a month from now? That's what has to be going on in your head. How hard are you going to fight for this? And trust me, Danielle knows. Everybody in my reality knows. I've struggled like a motherfucker on this. But I got to a point, and what does it say again? Until the consequences hurt so much that we finally learn from it. That shit hurt so much, going backwards over and over and over and over. I don't want to fucking do it anymore. So yes, again, and we spoke about this last time, we are in these human bodies, so we're going to have emotions, we're going to react, but catch it. You got to catch it. You're not staying there no more. And then you'll eventually get to a point where you don't react. It's taken me a long time to get there, but it's doable. And once you do, oh my gosh, it's like this new superhuman power that you come into. It's like, nobody can fuck with you. Literally, you become unfuckwithable. That word. It's like, and you get off of the emotional roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Every time we react, we're allowing somebody else to take us out of our dreams and our desires.
Mm-hmm.
Do not give anybody that much control over you, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I've been there. Everything that I say is from experience.
Yeah.
You know, I even have people very close to me right now going through some things. When I say very close to me, I mean so close to me it hurts to watch.
Right.
But I sat there for hours yesterday, like, hey, here's some headphones. Put this shit on. Like, you don't even have to do any of the other work.
Yeah.
You're taking a nap right now. Put this on. Fought me over it. Would not do it. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't force anybody, but it just gets to me because I know what the pain feels like. I know what it feels like to keep just being in that cycle that never ends and it doesn't stop. And it's so fucking dark and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, but I already, like, here's the magic pill. I'm fucking handing you the magic pill. Can you just drink it?
Yeah,
Fuck.
exactly.
Wouldn't do it.
No, I saw this.
I
saw a post. I don't know if it was yesterday. I mean, I've seen it many times before, but it just happened to come up where I can draw on it in my immediate awareness. And it said, you know, growth is hard, but staying where you are is hard too. So you just have to choose your hard. Like what, you know, what are you going to argue and fight for? Are you going to fight to stay where you are? Or are you going to, because none of it feels good. Like,
right.
Like while it's happening, right? While it's happening, because a lot of what's really happening when you're reliving old patterns is you're being given a beautiful gift of a lesson to tune into your awareness. Like a lot of the time, especially I mean, you guys know I've said this millions of times. My husband is one of the people that triggers me the most. And I know that he was sent to me in this lifetime to trigger me so that I can literally witness my own projections. I can witness my own limiting beliefs. I can witness my own obstacles. I can, you know, like that's what he's here for. And a lot of the time, and I, of course, a lot of it is hindsight is 2020. I'm still learning how to do it in the moment because I know the people that are closest to us trigger us the most, no matter who they are. Right. But for me, one thing that I've learned is a lot of it is just this beautiful lesson in awareness and pausing for a minute before you react, because it's in that, because the timer just said 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. When you don't take that second to take a breath and pause. Okay, like here's the difference with my son, for example. Last week, I don't know what was going on, and he snapped at me very rudely, right? And then so what I normally would do is I would scream back at him, right? But I stopped and I said, okay, hang on a second. I believe that you don't mean what you just said. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to back up, cancel, clear, delete, and say what you actually want to say in a way that you actually want to say it. Because I can tell right now, I think maybe you're a little bit embarrassed about how you just reacted. He said, yes, I am. I appreciate the opportunity to back up, right? But that took a lot of practice for me to be able to do that, because I used to just snap back at him. And with my husband, I'm still working on it with him. I will admit 1000% that he is one of the people that is the hardest for me to step back and take a second and actually think about what's being said, how it's being said, and how I'm receiving what's being said. Because a lot of the time, hindsight is 2020. A lot of the time when I'm reflecting on what's happened, I realize that what was delivered and what was received are different, right? Because remember, we've talked about this. Teresa and I've been talking about this for probably 14 episodes now. Everything you are experiencing and believe and are, having going on is put through and based on the filters that you have, and the filters that we have are based on our programming, our belief systems, are all of this, right? So it's the awareness is huge. The practicing of awareness, which is hard. It is hard, but it is it's a good hard to fight for. It's worth it.
Right. And in that moment, if you would have reacted how you usually react, then you're holding yourself trapped to that reality over and over and over when you don't really want to be there. Right. And not just that, you're paying it your attention, you're giving it your energy. So each time we do that, it's like you don't have your full life force to even go throughout the day. You're wondering why you're so exhausted and you're so tired, because you keep reacting to things that are draining your energy. You're giving your attention, you're paying your life force to these things. Not just that, right? It's leaking your life force,
Yeah.
but you're also growing it. You're growing whatever you're reacting to. You're keeping it trapped in your reality. And then you keep saying, why aren't things changing? How come this doesn't change? How come, how can it? You keep giving it your attention.
Exactly.
You keep giving it your attention over and over and over. And that's just a huge thing that I think collectively everybody's experiencing right now. Are you going to allow yourself to go backwards? And that's another thing. Keep a list of your desires so that you can go back and you can look, right? Because right now my life is so calm and it's peaceful and it's moving, but it starts going really, really fast and then it slows down and then it goes fast and then it slows down. So in those moments where it slows down and I don't see that much movement, which is going to happen to everybody, there's going to be a period where you don't see any movement. So you think nothing is happening.
Right.
I go back to my list and I keep saying this, as simple as I put down, I want to hear the birds chirping every morning. That's all you could hear when I come outside.
Literally chirped when you were done.
Literally, like all
that was
birds
awesome.
been coming to my back and my sliding door. It's like to my window, literally coming up to it, like, "Hey, we're here." Even my daughter was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I called them in. My energy, my vibration is calling them in." That's how I'm gauging it right now.
Just call me Snow White with all the
Yeah,
birds.
exactly. So it's like, I have to keep going back to that list to remind myself, like, hey, you're not exactly where you want to be yet, but look at how much shit you have fucking accomplished, right? Going from can't even think straight, don't know who I am, don't know my left from my right, feeling that I'm a piece of shit in every single way in this life, that I'm never going to become anything, to I'm powerful as fuck. You mean I command the universe? I tell it what to do, tell it what I want, how I want it, when I want it. I have that much power. I know my worth now. I know that I add value to people's lives that I come into. It's a big deal. Even though maybe physical manifestations haven't showed up completely yet, I'm still moving forward.
Yeah.
And I now am very much so in the observer state. Some stuff happened yesterday where I could have lost complete control. And I was just like, oh, this is funny. Like, this is silly. Here it goes again, trying to pull me back, but we're not going backwards anymore. We're not doing that. I'm not going to give you my energy because I don't want you in my reality anymore. Whatever it is, people, places, things, circumstances, we have control to change it all as long as we're not reacting to anything that we don't want.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about. And then when we keep this elevated state, we quantum fucking leap over and over and over and over. That's where I'm at right now. Like, can I just keep quantum leaping like that? That's my goal here,
Yeah.
But you're going to have wrenches thrown in your way. How are you going to respond to them moving forward?
Yeah, exactly. And understanding, like going back to the baseline, understanding that all of it is for your benefit. Like, no matter how awful or painful or annoying or frustrating or whatever it is, it's all for your benefit. Like, it is. We've been talking about this every single week, pretty much. Everything that happens in your reality is either giving you what you want or helping you prepare to receive what you want. Like, that's it. Like, I just posted it. I reposted an old TikTok that it's, the universe only ever has 3 answers. Yes, not right now. And I've got something better. Like, it's never going to say, no, you can't have what you want. It's going to say, okay, either yes, you're ready, here you go, or you're not quite ready, let's prepare you, or you don't actually know that that's not actually what you want. So I'm going to hold off until you're ready and in the place and everything aligns to give you what you actually, like, what's better for you. Right. And so I know it's hard to remember that in the moment when something stressful is happening or something, less than desirable is happening, or some old thing comes up from your past or some old pattern repeats itself or whatever. But and really the awareness starts, like, you're not going to just wake up tomorrow and just all of a sudden have the ability to be aware of it. It's going to start with your openness to look at the role you play and deciding to see things differently. Like, that is the bottom line, right? Is just deciding, okay, you know what? I'm going to choose to see this differently. Amanda Francis actually says it so beautiful. I'm probably going to butcher it, but she basically says, like, I'm willing to see this differently. Please help me to see this differently. Right. And then wait for the sign. Get your journal out. You know, I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I am a huge fan of journaling. My clients call me the queen of journaling, because I'm always
They're all
like
queens, baby.
Yeah, we're all queens. But I say, yeah, my queen clients, yeah. But no, they make fun of me. They're like, they start to say something and they're like, okay, I know what you're gonna say, but I still want to. And I'm like, yeah, get your journal out. And you're like, yeah, I know you're gonna say that, but you know, you have to be willing to see it differently. You have to be willing and open to know that everything is working out for you, right? It's really what it comes back down to.
Right. And that's like with the person that I was talking to yesterday too. And she was talking about like, I feel so unworthy. Like, what's wrong with me? I said, well, again, every single time this stuff comes up, a brain dump exercise over and over and over and over. I said, there's somewhere it's connecting to something unhealed in you, some belief system, and that's why it's still showing up. It doesn't mean that it's true, you guys.
Yes.
It's only showing up because there is something in you that you still have not had an awareness of. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So as I was talking to her, she's like, it always stems back to childhood. My parents making me feel unworthy, or the people. I said, exactly. And was it true? No. It was not true. It was not true that you were worthless just because this adult had their own shit that they were dealing with, and they couldn't love you and, you know, give you the nurturing that you needed. Doesn't mean that you were not worthy of anything in this life. And this is what we have to do over and over and over and over. Get your pen and paper out, brain dump exercise. It's not the fucking truth, but you just have to have an awareness. Once you have it, it heals it. It's fucking gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Oh shit, this is where it came from. But look at who I am today. I'm worthy of so many fucking things. And when I say that this person is brilliant, she's absolutely brilliant and gorgeous. I mean, amazing. So she did that. And, you know, we talked about it and she's like, oh my gosh, this is where it came from. Like, I wasn't realizing that. It's not true. It's false. It's fear. And what fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
You know, like it's continually, you have evidence that is not real that shows up, puts you in a state of fear. Oh my God, I haven't made any progress in my life. And no, it's bullshit. Do not feed into it. And then somebody commented, thank you, Teresa. I have somebody close to me going through the things, trying not to get swallowed up. Yeah. So I'm just going to say, I didn't want to say it, but I will say how close mine are to me, besides the friend that I'm talking about, is 2 of my children. That's the hardest fucking thing to watch. Yeah. Your children being eaten alive by the world. It caused so many emotions in me.
Of course.
And I was frustrated. Like, you've watched me and all my pain and all my trauma and everything that I've gone through. And I've made it this far. I have all the fucking tools right here. I'm hand feeding you. Fucking take them. And I started to like get all upset and excited. And I just had, okay, you know what? Every one of us has our own journey here on this earth, whether it's your parent or whether it's your fucking children. As hard as it is, you have to take that step back and keep holding space for them. Yeah. That's all I can do right now is hold space. Not act out in anger towards him and frustration, which I started, because then it's also affecting my vibration, of course, and where I'm headed and what I'm working on still. So that's a lot of growth right there for myself, because I wanted to just get him and be like, motherfucker, can you wake up? God damn it. You know, but I can't. But again, just like how we had to go through a molding process, right? Yeah. There's things that are unavoidable, and you just have to stay in your lane, keep yourself on track, because in that, your vibration is also going to help them heal, even if you're not speaking to them, being around you. Yeah. Right? And I could tell just even from yesterday to this morning, he's already in a different energy because I'm holding mine. I'm keeping that high vibration. Right. Also, you guys, what I'm doing, and even the book talks about this. I don't know, was it the lesson before, a couple before, where it says to use your magic wand, right? Yeah. You take 3 people that you want to see changed, whether it's their health or a relationship with them or whatever it is, and keep using that magic wand over them. And that's what I was doing all day yesterday over both. I was doing over a lot of people yesterday.
A lot of people need the magic right now. Yeah.
I was like, okay, we cannot force people physically. Again, we cannot force the physical to change, but we can use our power, our magic within us on that level, energetic level, to help them grow, to help heal even, the sickness, health. Yeah. I'm doing that with a couple of people. Yeah. I just keep envisioning them, that they come up to me and they tell me, hey, I went to the doctor today. Guess what? All this shit is cleared. Like, I am fucking healed. And I'm just feeling into that. And I'm excited. It's like pre-celebrating, right? As if it's already here. Same thing with my children. I'm doing the same thing. I'm seeing them as healed. I refuse. They think I'm a little bit tough because it's like, yesterday it was like, Mom, can you just not talk about all that stuff? Can you just be here for me?
No.
I'm like, fuck. I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. Just shut the fuck up.
No, I don't have that button. Sorry.
And now my mom, on the other hand, is in that energy. But for me, it's just hard because I feel like it's like a coddling, and I don't want you to accept that state for yourself. I don't want you to accept somebody else controlling who the fuck you are, or your worthiness, or what you're gonna do day to day. Because I can only allow it to a certain extent. Like, I just have to step back in that moment, like I said, but I'm not going to say, oh, it's okay, just go ahead and stay here, you have every right. I'm going to tell you quickly, hey, your emotions are valid. Don't fucking stay there. Don't keep repeating it. If you are creating your reality by the thoughts in your mind and things that you speak, what do you think's happening? Staying in that thought over and over and over and over and over and over about this person, place, thing. It will never leave. It will never leave. But anyways.
That is something I find very hard and frustrating. It's like sometimes, I kind of, not really, but I'm going to say, like, there is once in a while, it kind of just pops into my head for a split second. I'm just like, fuck, I wish I didn't know as much as I know, because it makes everything a lot more frustrating. Right. Because the bottom line is, and people might be wondering, okay, well, like, if this thing is not true and this thing is not true, well, then how do I know what is true? And the answer is always, you get to decide. You get to decide what's true. So that's why it's, for Teresa and I, it's like literally like pulling teeth talking to some people, because it's like you're choosing that. Every time you say it out loud, you're fucking choosing that. And it makes me mental.
And here's the thing too, like I kept saying, it's going to be okay. I promise you it's going to be okay. Yeah. I promise you this is not the end of everything. And I promise you, with everything that I know and I can teach you, you can have anything you fucking want. Let that sink in. Because I know when I was in those states and I was depressed and I was crying because I was like, oh my God, I wish I had this and I wish I had that, but it's never going to happen. And I'm never going to have this, never. But I'm telling you, if you take this fucking pill right here, all you got to do is put it in your mouth and swallow it. You can have whatever you want. Yeah. You will never go through this ever again, because you'll learn what caused it and how to fucking change it. You may have things that come at you, but you will not, again, what are we talking about? You're not going to react the same anymore. Nobody can control you in any kind of way whatsoever. It's a done deal.
And it's hard. It's hard when we're talking about, because I mean, a lot of this is, it does start with you, but then a lot of people are going to say, well, but though I've got this person, and like I was just talking about my husband, right? Like I've got this interpersonal relationship that's around all of the time. Like there's nothing I can do about this person being around. And so it's, constantly thrown at me that I have work to do and they've got work to do and whatever. But again, it comes back to being open and receptive to the lessons that need to be learned. And like I just said, like I'm very...
Here's the thing though, too, and I know we all deal with things differently, but what always replays in my mind is me doing this work while I'm being screamed at, abused. It's like not just having somebody who doesn't agree with what I'm doing. I'm fucking, I mean, getting my asshole ripped, you know, having my headphones pulled off of my head.
Books
and
ripped out of
guess
your
what?
hands and things. Yeah.
I didn't fucking stop no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I was hungry. I was fucking hungry for the light. I was tired of being in the fucking dark. I was tired of going through the same thing. And I finally found something that gave me hope. Oh my gosh. This, you can feel it, your soul, you can feel it feeding you. It feels so fucking good for the first time in your life. And it didn't come from another human being. It's you doing the work yourself. But that does make people uncomfortable. It does bring up insecurities in the ones around you, especially if they're not doing the work. They think that you're just going to leave them behind in the dust. And you just fucking might. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You might. But this is about you. It's not about anybody else. And I know, I'm not saying that it's not hard. I'm saying I know from fucking experience how hard it can be to live with somebody and try and do this work and try and stay on track. But if I can make it through that, and you have somebody that's just disagreeing with what you're saying, they're not being abusive to you, there's no reason why anybody else can't fucking do it. Like you have to want it that bad.
No, and I can attest, okay? I can attest because there were times where, like, Teresa and I have been friends for a long time. I watched the whole, I mean, I wasn't there from the beginning of the abusive relationship, but I was there at the end, and it was a fucking nightmare. And I remember even, like, it got to the point where I even reached out to the mentor we were with at the time, and I was like, how do I help her? And she's like, you can't, like, this is just her path. Like, you just can't. And then it got to the point where Teresa was not allowed to talk to me. So there was like months and months and months would go by, and and she probably remembers, I would send her every once in a while a message saying, like, just so you know, like, I'm still here. I'm still thinking about you. I'm still sending you love. I'm still this, I'm still that, because I would
type as fast as I can. Thank you so much. I need you, but I can't respond. I got to delete by.
Yeah. And we would go months without talking. And I knew that she was going through something really, really hard, and there was nothing I could do about it. And then finally, you know, and she kept, like I say, I can attest to the fact that she continued to try, and then shit would go sideways, and then she would find another angle to go at and get up earlier, stay up later, go to somebody else's house and do it. You know, I remember her telling me she would get books and notebooks and pens ripped out of her hands, and, like she said, headphones, and you know, being told how awful, and it was just so. My point is, if Teresa can get through that and get to where she's at now, anybody can get through anything. Like, I am telling you, and it got worse than even that. And we won't get into it, but but if she can get through that, you can get through people not and you know what? Okay. What I was going to say was people not respecting your boundaries. And there was a comment in our Facebook group earlier. Maybe it was last night. Doesn't really matter. Where it's glaringly obvious to me. The problem is boundaries. But this woman feels totally taken advantage of. She has no time. She's saying on the weekends, and if she's watching, like, this is with love, I'm trying to help, right? You know, she's like, Monday to, you know, Friday, like, morning, I can keep my shit together. But then, you know, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, I can't, because as soon as I wake up, somebody needs something. I take care of all these people and this and that. And I'm just like, that is a boundaries issue, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is a, unfortunately, and what that comes down to, I mean, Teresa, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding from my own experience, especially, that a boundary issue comes down to a self-acceptance, a self-love, a self-worth issue. Because when you know what you're worthy of, you will stand up and say, actually, no. I am not going to drive you there. I'm not going to pay that bill. I'm not going to do that. This is important to me. Or I'm actually going to have a bath first. Or no, I am going to read this book. Or I am going to write in my journal. Or yeah, I'll help you, you know, tomorrow. But today I'm doing this. And without, you know, anyway, you chime in on this, because I want to hear what you have to say.
It's programming that has been handed down.
Right.
Generation after generation, right? Because mom always does everything for everybody in the house. The kids come first, husband comes first, and mom comes last, is what we were taught.
Because it's selfish.
But this is why people divorce. This is why women lose their mind and question who the fuck they are at a certain point in their life. you putting yourself first and creating these boundaries doesn't mean that you're selfish, doesn't mean that you don't love your family. It actually means that you do fucking love them.
Yes.
Because you are taking the time to become the best version of yourself so that you can not only show up for yourself at 100%, but then you can show up for your family. You can show up for your husband.
Right.
Right. Then you can guide them, heal them. Most people, 98% are damaged in some kind of fucking way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, look at the divorce rate. Why do you think it's happening? Because people are not putting themselves first. And I'm not just saying for the wife to put herself first only.
Right.
And I'm not saying put yourself first in a selfish way where you don't give a fuck about anybody and you're rude and you're mean and all that. No.
Right.
Hey, you know what, you guys? Listen, I'm pouring into me right now so that I could be the best version to show up for you how you need me to show up. Because any other way, I cannot.
Right.
And this is X, Y, and Z. This is why I lash out. This is why I get upset. This is why, she's all over the place because there is no boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to teach people how to love you, how to respect you. This is where it starts at. It starts in your home, with your children, with your partner. And you can say these things without being mean, without being rude, without causing a fight. From just have it flows through your heart space first. Hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's going on. Eventually over time, either your partner is going to come along with you, or maybe they might vibrate right out.
It does happen.
I don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but either which way, you have to start creating these boundaries.
Right.
You have to. I started doing that. It got to a point where I'm like, hey, from 8 to 9 in the morning, I'm going to have my headphones on. I'm going to be in meditation. I got to do my gratitude. Do not even touch me. They're like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, leave me alone.
I'm telling you right now, don't fucking touch me. Okay? Don't touch me. And then I was like describing because my brain waves are in this. And then if you scare me and you shock me out of it, this X, Y, and Z is going to happen. Yeah. And then they started getting intrigued by it and like wanted to learn more. And then the other part vibrated right out. It could have been a team effort. Hey, we all need healing. Yeah. It has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
When you do this, ladies, it's not being selfish. And this is one of the things, and I'm sure you probably have it in one of your things that's like, what's stopping you from manifesting this life? This old belief system of thinking that when you do for yourself, you're wrong. You're not. It's what has to get done. When you do, I heard it a long time ago. I was like, I want to go heal the world. I want to go save all these children. Well, it starts with you. Like, what do you mean? It's not about me. It's about the world. I got to run out there and go help them. It starts with you. It's an internal job first. Yeah. I was like, that makes no fucking sense at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Now it makes complete sense. We heal ourselves. We are healing our whole DNA. We're healing our bloodline. We're now holding space for our mothers. Look at what's happened to you with your mom. Who the fuck would have thought ever that you'd be on this retreat thing and a sound healing journey with your mother? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? But you started working on you, and then it's the ripple effect that we've talked about a million times too. The ripple effect starts happening.
Right.
You're holding space now for the people that you love and are around you to do their own healing if that's what they choose to do.
Right.
But either which way, you have to, this is all about creating boundaries. It's going to start in your home first, and then you're going to start doing it outside of your home, and then people are going to start responding to you so differently.
Yes. Yeah.
So differently.
Yeah.
And so I was talking about with my son last night too. I was explaining to him, like, you need to start creating boundaries so that you can teach people how you expect to be fucking treated.
Yeah.
And I think I talked about this before. I brought up a situation where him and his brothers came over one day, and I was in a great mood. I was making food for them. I couldn't wait for them to get here. I had like music on. I'm like, woo, they come in.
Yeah.
But they wanted to come earlier, but I had an obligation that I had to take care of, which was actually a good deed that I was doing. But they were used to, you're the reason why we feel this pain. You broke up our family. You. Blaming everybody outside, right? That's okay. I took the blame for quite a while. I'll go ahead and take that for a minute. But then there comes a point in time where you're adults now and we're all moving forward. Now you have to take responsibility for your own healing.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and keep blaming everybody else, or else you'll just stay stuck here. So when they came in, I was like, hey, how are you guys doing? I love you. And they were just like, we're not having it. Told me off. I'm fucking this and I'm fucking that. Da, 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 da. Excuse me? I'm what? Get the fuck out. You know what? I don't care if you're my kid or not. You're not going to talk to me that way. Yeah. You want to talk to me that way. You want to stay living in this old reality, which, don't get me wrong, it's not that I just disregarded their feelings or any pain or anything that happened. I acknowledged it, but I've already acknowledged it 1 million times.
Like, how many times do you want to talk about the same thing?
How many times you're going to hold me to this old identity? Because I'm fucking moving forward. I'm trying to bring you with me so that we can heal together and move forward. Now, if you want to continue to live in this old reality and this past, go right ahead. One thing you will not fucking do moving forward is disrespect me.
Right.
I don't give a shit if you're my kid or not. You're my parent, you're a sibling. I don't give a fuck, because I love me, right? And I've created these boundaries now, and I'm okay with, I have emotional intelligence to a point where it's like, I'm okay with people in or out of my life. It doesn't affect me anymore.
Right.
You know, if you want to walk away, go ahead. You want to stay? Okay, let's do this. Like, let's fucking grow and build this amazing life.
All right.
So we have to get to this point, right? We have to create these boundaries no matter who it is. But when you're doing this, you're also helping your children come into their own power, because they're not going to sit there in this victim fucking mentality over and over and over. But this is what happens when we hold guilt for certain things or a certain pain that we've caused. We allow the victim mentality because we feel that we deserve this.
Right. Right.
We don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying disregard their feelings and never acknowledge the pain that was caused. Yes, it happened, but this is why. And everybody is getting something out of this. I don't know what their path is in the end. Maybe they had to experience mom hurting them for whatever work they're going to do later. I don't fucking know. But as long as you don't create boundaries, you're just allowing victim mentality everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're never going to come into your power. You're never going to be respected, and you're never going to be loved at the level that you deserve to be loved.
Right.
Period. Your worth is always going to be in what everybody else feels and thinks. And everybody's unhealed. So they're always going to be talking shit to you. They're always going to be lashing out at you. Yeah. So then you're like this. You're on that roller coaster. Oh, I'm amazing. You're by yourself. Like, I'm so amazing. I love life. And then they come in, they talk shit to you, and you're like, oh, I'm a fucking piece of shit. I'm not worth this. My kids don't even love me. How can they when you don't love yourself? Yeah. Teach them how the fuck to love you. Show them how you expect to be loved and treated. Yeah. Until you do, it's just complete chaos and victim mentality everywhere. And not only do you not move forward, but you're doing your children a disservice, and even your partner. Right. Your partner. And it's not just about women. It's about the men too. Men need to be loved too. Men need to heal too. Men need to have their own boundaries too. You know, but the way we were raised is just everybody just meshes together. And nobody's an individual.
Well, right.
But where has that old system got us?
To everybody who needs healing. Yeah. But you know what? And the boundaries thing, you know, I would even go as far as to say the boundaries this is how I like to explain it. When we're talking about, you know, getting, you know, working on the self-love and the prioritizing ourselves, those are boundaries too. Like, it starts with the boundaries with yourself. Like, no, I'm not going to talk to myself like that. Yes, I am going to get up when my alarm goes off. You know, a lot of the time, and this is especially when we're talking about like goals and stuff, because obviously Teresa and I have said a million times too, you have to be clear about where you're going and what you want, or you're not going to go anywhere. Like, you can do all the healing you want, but unfortunately, if you don't have a vision of what your life is like on the other side, it's much easier to fall off the roller coaster than it is if you are clear about, you know, I'm doing this because I envision my life being XYZ, right?
Back to basics.
Exactly. So when you're clear on what you want and how your life and your relationships are going to change, that's going to require action on your part, right? So whether we're talking about business goals, personal growth goals, whatever, you have to set and maintain boundaries with yourself first. Like I say, the disrespectful talk, nobody I mean, you can attest to this. Nobody can speak to you in a way that you are not or were not previously aligned to, right? And you admitted yourself, I used to take it because you used to believe it, right? And now you're like, no. And so I will go ahead and argue that started with you realizing that you were telling yourself you were a piece of shit first, and then no, I'm not going to say that anymore. That's not what it is. And then, like I said, when the alarm goes off, get up, don't hit snooze. And when you've got a goal and the goal requires you to get on your computer twice a day, or your goal requires you, maybe it's a self-development goal and it requires journaling and that, or like the magic. Okay. If you commit to the magic and then you fall off the wagon, that is a boundary that you have not enforced with yourself. Right. Because, well, I don't know why, but my point, but it's a boundary. Right? Because if it's important to you and you're going to honor your boundaries, you're going to say, no matter what, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the magic. I don't care if I have to do it first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Maybe you forgot and you fell off the wagon. Stick to your boundaries, because that's first and foremost how you train the universe and your energy.
Right. And really quick, before we keep going forward, is where you said about, it started internally with my belief system. We've been talking about this over and over and over. That's exactly what it was. I was, for a very long time, I'm a piece of shit because this is what I was told, right? And some of the actions that I take responsibility for that I did. So again, our belief systems get reflected back to us. Everyone is us pushed out, right? So my children were reflecting that old belief system.
Right.
And I'll tell you right now, it's completely different. Like completely different the way that they talk to me now. But I don't have those old beliefs about myself anymore either. So this new belief is being reflected back to me. There was a little bit of a lag period before it showed up, before I had
as it happens,
but it was a combination of the things, the boundaries and the belief systems. It wasn't just the boundaries, but it also was like, okay, what have you been thinking about yourself that they're reflecting back to you? Because I was triggered, right? And in that triggering is always an opportunity for us to heal. There's something in there that's causing you to be triggered,
Right.
And then just to go off of what you're saying right now about our goals, our desires, and all that stuff, to have them in place, but also our why. Mm-hmm. The why are you doing this? We've talked about this before, but it's coming up for a reason, right? Because we're all feeling this energetic shift right now as a collective. All old shit is coming back. What is your why? Why are you doing this work? And it has to be fucking huge. And I talked about this before, like previously, my why was like something for me. Oh, because I just want to be better. Well, that wasn't good enough because it didn't keep me on track. It didn't keep me moving forward. I kept falling off. So it had to be because of my children. My why is for my children.
I think all of us, it's for our children. Yeah.
And because it's bigger than us. It's not just about us. So every time when you are going back into the old way of thinking and you want to fall off and just drop everything, no, I can't, because these humans mean so fucking much to me. Yeah. Because sometimes we can't. Sometimes we get so far in our head on this journey. It's like, I'm fucking done. I can't do this no more. Mm-hmm. It's too fucking hard when it's about you. But when you put the kids first, and I'm not saying put them first completely, but I'm just saying as your why you're doing this, it keeps you going, because it's not about just you yourself. Because when it just comes to us, a lot of times, like I said, we want to give up, and we do. But when your purpose is way bigger than you, now it's like not only my kids, but the world needs me. I came here with a purpose. I came here to serve my family, to help them heal, and to help the world fucking heal. Like, that's just, it keeps me going 100%.
I agree.
It's way bigger than me now.
It has to be. Now. It has to be. And me too. Like, I take it first to, okay, my son's only 8 right now. So I think about the life that I'm helping him create, and then the friends that he'll go out and influence, and the relationships that he'll attract. And then eventually he'll probably have kids and bless me with grandchildren, and I want them to be born to a healed father. Right. And, I want my son to attract a healed feminine energy for him as his wife. And, that starts with me and what I'm doing. And then, like you say, then it sprinkles out. You have to think about, okay, well, what's the example I'm setting for the people that are looking up to me on social media, for example, right? Like, I realize that it would be easy for me just to turn everything off and go back to a 9-to-5 job and call it a day. But then I think about the obligation I have to the people that I've already opened the door to, and the people who have yet to open the door, who I'm meant to serve. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, a lot of the time, I'm not going to lie to you, it would be way easier for me just to go back to work, because then I can just spend 40 hours a week working for somebody else, mindlessly being told what to do. In a lot of ways, that would be simpler. But like Teresa's saying, like, I have an obligation, I have a mission. We were put here for a reason. So I have to fulfill that. And so I think about that whenever I'm doubting my abilities, I have to remember, like, no, I've been put here for a reason. This offer, this program, this thing, this topic, this conversation has been put on my heart for a reason, because it needs to be shared. And that's one of the reasons why Teresa and I, again, we keep coming back to why we were drawn to even start this podcast show to begin with, is because we know that the collective will benefit either today or, years from now when you're watching the replay, from something we will say.
And our abundance is found in our purpose.
Of course. Our joy and our peace and our freedom and our fulfillment, right? Like, I don't even know how I got up and went to work every day before. Like, honestly, like, I mean, I am not meant to be an employee. That is for certain. But it's just like, now that I'm there, she's laughing because she knows.
Now that spit out the coffee, because I'm like, I don't either. I think about it like, how in the hell? There's no way. There's no way. Yeah. No way ever. It even gives me chills. Being a bird in a cage. I mean, don't get me wrong. Having your own business is a lot of fucking work too.
Yes. Yeah,
but even when we talk about these things, it's not working to me. It's just speaking about what I love. It's
funny because my son said something about, he was asking me something about, do you have to work tomorrow, or do you have work to do, or something? He used the word work, right? And I was like, you know what? And I have never really stopped him before, but just in that moment, I was like, you know what? I wish there was something else I could call it, because I don't really like that word, because I don't feel like that's what it is. Because I said to him, I was like, you need to understand, I love what I do. It's actually a challenge for me to close it down at 2:00 and call it a day. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. I spent the first couple of hours of my day this morning brainstorming and working on some things that I'm just like fired up. Like, I'm excited about it. It is not work at all. I could do it 7 days a week. And yeah, like, I do appreciate a good break here and there too. And I make myself stop on the weekends and things like that, because we need to recharge and whatever. But yeah,
give me life.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And that's because you're fulfilling a purpose.
Right. And it's like, no matter how far, even us, how far we evolve and grow and go on this journey, there's still days where we're like, do I really mean that much? Like, am I really making that much of a difference? And then as soon as you get on here, or you get going with one of your, clients that you're working with, and it's just like, hell yeah, this is what it's about. Like,
oh yeah,
the doubt, it comes in here and there. But once you get immersed in this, it's like, I'm on the right fucking path. Well, there's no questioning this, because as soon as I start talking with somebody, I'm just like so fired up. I'm like, please forgive me. I know I'm all over the place, but I got so much to teach you and tell you, and I just can't stop.
Yeah. No, honestly, even just this morning, like before the brainstorming started, I was sitting here like, what am I even doing? Like, what? Like, honestly, this is like, in the first 2 hours of my day today, I went from like, what am I doing? This is never going to work. What am I like? What? And then I was like, oh, and then it just got going. But it's like, it happens all of the time. Like, and I don't think, it's funny because I think some people think, just let's go off on a tangent here about business for a second. I think some people think that when you're fulfilling your purpose and you become successful, by industry, society standards successful, and you can, buy anything you want, you can do anything you want and all of that. I think people think that the imposter syndrome thing stops and you stop doubting yourself and you just know that you're, you know, all that in a bag of potato chips, and, you know, as Dr. Evil says, and that, you know, nothing bothers you. But I remember reading an email from a girl who is a well-known 8-figure coach, maybe even more by now. I don't know. This is like several years ago. And I keep going back to the example because she wrote in the email, she's like, I still to this day, every once in a while, catch myself thinking, what am I doing? I need to get a real job. 8 figures I'm talking about.
Yeah,
okay,
no, I
you
got
guys.
that email too. I got that email too. And when
Right.
I read that, I was like, this is exactly what I needed fucking now. Because look at how much she has. And it still comes in sometimes.
Yes, exactly. And so I heard somewhere else that they're like, that happens because we doubt. They're like, there's no way that I can actually be that awesome. Like, there's no way that little old me from my little old, because it's funny, no matter where you come from, no matter who you come from, everybody is just a regular human, right? Coming from little old whatever town. Okay. Like whether you're from New York or, you know, Los Angeles or Vancouver or frickin' somewhere in the middle of Saskatchewan or somewhere in the middle of, I don't even know, wherever in the States, right? Or wherever in the whole world. Like it doesn't matter. We're all just people. You know what I mean? Like nobody is more special than anybody else. And I think a lot of us get wrapped up in the believing, like, how can I be somebody with this kind of purpose? But it's like, why not though? Like, why not you? And everybody else has potential to be that too.
Right. Yep.
So
100%.
Yeah. So, you know,
again, back to becoming the observer.
Yes.
Because the mind is vicious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the mind is what we're learning to control here. Again, observer, because I don't know how many thousands of thoughts do we have every minute?
Oh, I don't know, zillions. It's like so many.
Exactly. So it's like it comes in, don't hold on to it. Go immerse yourself into something that reminds you of who the fuck you really are. You know, for us, it's coming here. It's doing the work.
And I love it.
Doing the work that we've been doing.
Yeah. And sharing it with everybody and saying, like, look, this is what it looks like. This is what the process looks like. It's not always pretty. Like I said, when we hopped on today, you know, we're asking, how are you? How are you? And it's just like, okay, well, neither I don't believe you and you don't believe me. And like we're speaking it into existence. I know, but at the same, like, or, you know, what we want into existence, but at the same time, like sometimes shit hits the fan, man. And it's just part of the process. But like we said at the very beginning, everything that you're going through is either giving you what you asked for or preparing you for what you asked for. That's it. There is no holding back. There is no thing that you could ask for or want or desire or want to be or want to go or want to have that is not meant for you. If it's on your heart, it's because it's meant for you. And your job is to get out of the way of the thing. And it's funny because I saw this really great.
The hummingbird is back.
Oh, I love it.
It's just chilling right here on the side.
I love it. I saw this really great, I don't know if it was a TikTok or what, of this girl. And she's like, I want to show you like a representation of what's happening. So she's got these like magnet tiles, this like these child's toy, right? And she's like, okay, so this is your mind. And this little car is the universe giving you your desires. And she's piling up on the little car all of these tiles that are saying, okay, this is the money you want, and the person you want, and the job you want, and the whatever, right? And then she's like, okay, so then the universe loads up this little thing and it's trying to drive it to you, trying to deliver exactly what you asked for. And then you have this doubt. And then this wall gets in the way. And then you've got this doubt. This tile goes in the way. Then you've got this doubt. And she's like, so, you know, you keep putting things in the way that are stopping you from receiving the thing, when if you would just believe in yourself and all of the things that you want and know how worthy you are already, the thing would be delivered to you so much faster. Right. And that's the process. That's what we're here is like, we are going to get really woo woo here for a second and then we'll call it a day. But one of the reasons we're here in human form is to remember. I don't know why we decided that was going to be a good idea, was to forget to remember. I'm not really sure. I don't, you know, maybe in some other future lifetime, I'll figure it out. But you're literally put here forgetting everything that you know, and then your life, you come back to remembering it, right? And so just every time you put up one of those walls, like I'm saying, the job is to develop the awareness of when you've put up one of those walls so you can knock it down and allow the universe to deliver what you're asking for. Because everything is preparing you to receive what you asked for, because you're meant to have all of those things. And things you're not meant to have, you will never have a desire for. So there will never be this want of something you can never have, because it just won't be in your, like, I have no desire or awareness to be like an astrophysicist. Not meant to be for me. I'm not, that is not part of my calling.
I had that desire for a while.
So it's never going to be something that I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, you know, I'm too old to start going to school to be an astrophysicist. I'm never going to have that desire that I can't fulfill, because I'm not supposed to. That's not part of what I'm here to do or have.
If you have a desire on your heart, it's because it's meant for you. It's given to you. It's a promise. All you got to do is follow through with it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's it.
One thing I want to like leave here with, like, the point of everything that we want to be doing here. I was listening to a podcast, and when she said it, I was like, oh my gosh, it describes it perfectly. She said, we must hold the feeling state of the elevated emotion of already having our desires. That's how we get there. Right? Does that make sense?
So good.
Think about if you already had your desires, how that would feel fucking amazing on top of the world. And that is what you're holding. You're holding that emotional state all throughout your day. So if you're like, I don't understand, what do you mean? High vibration, feeling good. What am I supposed to be doing? That exact thing. You're holding the feeling state of the elevated emotion of already having your desires in front of you. That's what you're doing day in and day out, no matter what's thrown at you. And that's how we quantum leap into this new reality. And then once you get to that one, then you fucking do it again.
Yeah.
And again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
It's rinse and repeat over and over.
Yes. And the beautiful thing about holding that elevated state is that it allows you to enjoy the now moment more, because you know, like, you're already embodying the version of you who already has the thing. So it allows you to enjoy the present moment more, because when you already have the thing, you're not like yearning for the thing because you already have it. So you're more peaceful, you're more content, you're more joyful, you're able to enjoy the present moment more. Right. So It's like this beautiful cycle of like speeding the whole thing up, because you're now you're allowing yourself to enjoy what you have right now, and you're enjoying the journey as much as the destination. And that's the whole point.
And it allows you to detach, because that's part of this process too. You have to detach from, you know, is this happening? Is this not happening? What's going on here? Because that just stops your energy. It keeps you trapped. It's not flowing. It's not moving. So holding this state, you're having fun. You're enjoying it. You're feeling fucking good. And the next thing you know, boom, it's already there. You're just like, whoa, what just happened? It moves so fast. No resistance, with grace and ease.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. Just having fun and feeling good brings in your desires. Why wouldn't you want that?
It sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to leave it for this week. Okay, so we're just about done the magic. We've got a couple more days, or maybe one more day, 2 more days. I forget what day we're on now, but we're
2 days.
Okay, we're done basically. So we're going to do the big leap next. I actually found online a PDF copy, so you don't even have to go and buy the book if you don't want to. I recommend that you do, because I can almost guarantee you're going to want to underline and highlight and jot and save this book for the rest of your life. But if for whatever reason you don't want to, whatever, send me a message on Instagram at Mindset to Manifest, and I will just send you a link to, I've got it in my Google Drive even. I downloaded it for free, so I'm not breaking any rules or anything. So I get just like, so if you need the PDF copy, just send me a DM and I will get it to you, so that you have it to get started. We haven't discussed any kind of like, let's read so many chapters, but you'll see what I mean. You will love this book. It is amazing. And as always, our continued conversations will be circling around the big leap and the magic and all the things, but also many side tangents, because that's how it is.
Yeah. And then like, just invite everybody to come in and start sharing your experiences, you know, because the big leap is really going to get your mind going. You're going to be like,
God,
holy shit, I've been doing this for how many years keeping myself and having no idea that you're even doing these things. Like it's going to help you quantum leap, a big leap forward.
Yeah.
But I really want to like them start like interacting a little bit more with the book, like as we go, because it's just, I can't.
Well, I know.
So
And the amazing thing about the Big Leap is it really is a giant lesson in taking responsibility, right? Because like the essence of the book is basically you're meant for big things, and any reason you have for not already doing those things or not pursuing and not going in that direction is an excuse set by your ego because you're afraid. Your ego is afraid of how good it's going to get, because just like your higher self knows what you're destined to do, so does your ego. And it's trying to keep you safe and comfortable and small when you're supposed to be big and amazing and powerful. Okay. So I can't wait. I love this book so much. I've read it several times already. We've already done book club on this at least once. It's such a good book. You will die. So I hope that you read it. I hope that you interact with us. I hope that you come live to the podcast so that you can leave us questions, comments, interact with us about the book, share your epiphanies, your breakthroughs, your all the things. Invite everybody you know. This book is amazing. I wish more people. It blows my mind when people don't even know this book exists. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have to read this book. I have been known for the girl who recommends The Big Leap to everybody. My clients chime in. They're like, they'll see a post somewhere in a group or something, and there's somebody's asking for personal development, and they're like, hey, where are you suggesting The Big Leap? I was like, I haven't seen the post yet. I'm sorry. I'm always chiming in. It's such a good book. You'll see what I mean. You'll see. So I'm going to leave it there. You guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us live. Thank you, everybody on the replay, for hanging out with us as well. We love you so much. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to leave us later, go ahead and comment on the video. We'll circle back, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday, same time, same place, for another amazing conversation. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.